Hello and welcome to CBJ News.
On today's show, doctors remain in intense pay discussions with the government following a 3-day strike.
It's almost 3 years since the first coronavirus lockdown was announced. We check in on Nottingham businesses who are still feeling the effects.
And a new programme called Shifting Your Mindset has been launched supporting single dads to become better parents. Good afternoon, I'm Jamie Slack.
And I'm Andrea Pritano, and here is your Friday news.
We start today's programme with breaking news. An arrest warrant has been issued for Russian President Vladimir Putin. The International Criminal Court alleges he is responsible for war crimes, including the unlawful deportation of children from Ukraine to Russia. Despite issuing the warrant, which is a strong show of condemnation from the ICC, has no powers to arrest suspects as Russia is not signed up to its agreement, it is unlikely Putin will be extradited. Back here, it's the end of the 3-day junior doctors' strikes at Nottingham hospitals, but the government is yet to make a pay offer, despite coming up with a deal for nurses and paramedics. CBJ Joe Maloney reports.
What do we want? Fair pay! When do we want it? Now!
Hundreds gathered outside the Nottingham University Hospital to protest against the low wages of junior doctors, which have been cut by over a quarter in the last 15 years. Newly qualified medics now earn £14.09 an hour, which is actually less than you can earn making a coffee at high street store Pret. The 5-year degree can rack up over £100,000 in debt for junior doctors, and with the life-saving work they do, they feel this is not enough.
They might be the person who's there when you first have a heart attack. They might be somebody who's there helping put a cannula into a child for antibiotics, those sorts of things. So we're asking the government to meet our demands, reverse our pay cuts, and give us back pay restoration, essentially.
These talks between the British Medical Association and the government may come even sooner than expected though. Yesterday, most of the NHS staff, including nurses and ambulance workers, were encouraged by their unions to accept a 5% pay rise for next year and a one-off payment for last year's cuts. And if junior doctors were offered a similar deal in the coming days, it might be enough to get them back into the hospital for now. But there is concern about how many people will want to pursue the profession in this country.
It's been a problem to have a retention in junior doctors staying as training. I've applied for pediatrics training. I'd hope to get that position, but I think I'm more worried about patients getting care in the future. Less and less doctors are applying, and they're thinking about training overseas.
The BMA wants a 35% pay rise to cover 15 years of cuts, and they will be waiting for a deal with the government. But the issue is far from over. Joe Maloney, CBJ News, Nottingham.
For many of us, COVID seems like a distant memory, but for some small businesses in Sneinton, the pandemic side effects are only just starting to ease. CBJ's Laura Parker went to find out more.
Today marks 3 years since the country went into lockdown, and whilst the majority of things have gone back to normal, there are still some small businesses that are feeling the effects. COVID affected all of us in many ways, with face masks and lateral flow tests being the centre of our lives. As much as it affected our health, it affected our economy, with businesses unsure what the future would hold. Even 3 years on, some of our favourite spots to shop remain quiet. Small independent businesses such as these have recovered in different ways. Bone Arrow's owner Claire left her job as a makeup artist to pursue her career in jewellery making. She opened her new shop just as COVID hit, but this turned out to have a very positive impact on her business.
But the main thing that happened was my website sales went crazy because everybody was just like ordering stuff to their houses. Mm-hmm. My business took off because of COVID. So because of COVID, I was growing anyway. I was doing kind of double what I'd done the year before anyway. But it meant I could start doing this full time, and it retired me from makeup because I didn't have any makeup jobs for a year, and I put all my energy into this.
Megan Crook of Get Crooked had the opposite experience as her vibrant studio and shop had to shut.
all of my events got cancelled, and so basically, 90% of my income just stopped.
The effects of COVID and the recent cost of living crisis left her struggling for custom.
The doom and gloom that's in the news at the moment, it's so hard for people to not feel apprehensive about spending or treating themselves.
Although Megan remains hopeful, she is unsure of the future. COVID certainly had its impact for a lot of businesses, but one thing's for sure, it's small independent shops like Megan's that are proving a pop of positivity in uncertain economic times. This is Laura Parker for CBJ News, Nottingham.
In the UK, there are over 2 million single-parent families, more than 90% of which are headed by single mothers. Shifting Your Mindset, the first programme for single dads in the East Midlands, is trying to make a positive change, helping the dads developing their parenting skills. Asia Asanova has more on this story.
Shifting Your Mindset, or the only programme for single dads in Nottinghamshire, is now hosting sessions at the Vine Community Centre for dads trying to become better parents. The meetups happen every Tuesday from 6 till 8 p.m. and are open to fathers as well as mothers wanting to improve their parenting skills. Andre Nugent, one of the mentors in the programme, is working with fathers from across Nottinghamshire, providing advice from his personal experience of being a father.
When I'm here at Shifting the Mindset, I just try and keep the fathers on the rightful path, not make them get caught in the system, not make them get upset and jealous towards their kids' mothers, not make them be annoyed at the police or the social services when they're not doing their job correctly or rightly.
Mutamakaka, the founder of Shifting Your Mindset, who believes that working with fathers will have a big impact on the future generations, has very ambitious but realistic goals for the future of the programme as well.
What I envision is fathers everywhere around the world being empowered to take ownership and owning programs like this, to develop their skills as parents, to develop their self-esteem, to build healthier relationships with mothers, partners, families, to be more engaged with their children and involved in their children's lives, and understand the impact of them being visibly there.
Manuel, who is the youngest shifter in the programme, attends every session each Tuesday to help and inspire fathers.
If you want to be respected and loved by other people, you need to relax. I'm an asset. I'm here to help dads who are separated or been in a trauma relationship, dads who love their kids, dads who want their kids, dads who really, really care about their kids.
The sessions are completely free to attend. All you have to do is arrive at the centre on time. Asia Senova, CBJ News, Nottingham.
A coffee club is working to beat loneliness in Ruddington. The club began as a way to reduce social isolation for older people. Our reporter Kai Vella visited the club for a cuppa.
A room full of people all looking for company. But of course, a coffee club isn't a coffee club without a hot drink. Volunteers Carol Jaggers and Gwen Ayer started the club because they noticed there was a problem in Ruddington with older people suffering from social isolation and loneliness, and felt like they had to do something to help.
Because there's a lot of isolation with the elderly, they come together once a week, they can chat, they can ask Gwen and I anything they like, we try and help them obviously if they've got a need. But it is just that getting out once a week to be able to chat with other people. And we've got some good friendship groups going now, so it's amazing. This is mostly important for the residents and people in the local community.
The attendees say they feel very lucky that these events exist to give them a space to socialise with other people in the village.
I mean, all the villages should have a place like this. I mean, we're very, very lucky here. Because we have this, and then we have the dinners on twice a month, which is very, very good. You know, it means that we meet people, doesn't it? That's what, I mean, this is what you need when you get older, is to meet people, just have a chat, more or less.
The club meets every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to midday at St Peter's Room in Ruddington and welcomes people 55 and over. It's free, but most people donate at least £1 to help keep the club going. Alongside the club, Carol and Gwen also manage a community fridge that provides food to those who need it. Britain is famous for a cup and a chat, and this club is proven very powerful in bringing the community together. Kai Vella, CBJ News, Nottingham.
Today, across the world, many will be celebrating St Patrick's Day. Our reporter Luke Rolt is out in the city finding out about how locals are celebrating the day. So Luke, tell me what you can see. So I feel we're having some technical difficulties here. We can't hear Luke. We may throw to him again later on in the programme. Here's a package from Luke earlier from the day.
Nottingham is painted green today as thousands celebrate St Patrick's Day. The day is traditionally a holy feast honouring patron saint of Ireland. This was marked here in Nottingham with a day of festivities in Old Market Square, organised by the Irish Community and Culture Centre, where folk songs and dancing are the main order of the day.
It's expected that 13 million pints of the famous Guinness will be sold today. But it's not just the stout that makes St Paddy's Day special. It's special for so many other reasons as well.
Yeah, so St Patrick's Day to me is a celebration of Irish culture, especially Irish music. I've been playing since I was little, and it's all about family for me as well. So we have all my family will come together at this time of year.
Old Market Square was packed earlier today, and Jerry Malumbi believes this is a vital event for the Nottinghamshire community.
It's important for Irish people, for second and third generation, and for people who have no Irish background. It's a chance for us to showcase our culture and to meet with each other in the Market Square and get together and celebrate, even here in the background, the beauty of the Irish music, the dancing steps.
It was also an exciting day for those who were performing.
It's really, I've never played as a solo for St Patrick's Day before, so it was an honour to be asked to do it.
Whatever you're doing this St Patrick's Day, we hope you enjoy your celebrations. Luke Rolt for CBJ News, Nottingham.
National Highways have given the artists of Nottingham a new legal canvas under the A52. Our reporter Lizzie Walcock went down to see the handiwork.
Nottingham is a living canvas in the eyes of the city's street artists, with walls, doors and stairs being fair game for the spray cans. Nottingham Street Art Festival happens every year in the city, contributing to its reputation as one of the country's top spots for this art form. Emily Catherine is a local street artist responsible for the Paul Smith mural that covers Brick's Barber's building, and the chance to have a brand new place to paint is a really exciting opportunity for her.
Really exciting, and it's a really lovely opportunity to start regenerating and occupying our city spaces that are really lacking, and so this is why I'm so excited about spaces being made available for people to paint legally again. It's just wonderful.
Artists are now legally allowed to create artwork in the Browns Tunnel. The underpass is free for creators to practice their passion. The only rules are to avoid being offensive and to clean up after themselves. National Highways, who sanction the decision, say that while safety is a top priority, the initiative offers people the chance to express themselves. Sneaton Market has long been a hotspot for this type of art, but as it's not a legal space, the art is in decline. This opportunity in Nottingham gives these artists a new place to move the walking work to another destination. Grace Calloway is an events manager for artists, and she thinks that this new space will help the city as much as the artists themselves.
A lot of local graffiti artists, and I think it's good to give them a place to target their work and give them a place to practice and have freedom without it affecting the architecture in the city and stuff.
The underpass has already seen artists swarming to start work, and with the community working together, it remains to be seen what art will be featured in the future. With this new space being made available for all street artists, it's a great way for the creative people of Nottingham to express themselves in a safe space. But don't be fooled, not everyone can paint on these walls, only those of the street artist community. Lizzie Walcock, Nottingham, CBJ News.
Wow, well, I think some of those look great. We're now going back to St Patrick's Day. Luke, tell me what you can see.
Hey, you're right. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties earlier, but we're here in Old Market Square and it is a sea of green. There's plenty of Guinness flowing and everyone seems to be having a great time. There's plenty of traditional Irish stalls just over here, plenty of flag sellers, and everyone seems to be having a great time. So happy St Patrick's Day to all of you in the studio.
Thanks, Luke.
Nottingham Castle could reopen in the coming months if plans are approved by the council next week. The castle, which received a £30 million renovation last year, closed to the public in November when the trust that ran it fell into liquidation. However, if plans are approved, Nottingham City Council could reopen the castle in June, with taster sessions beginning in May. Students who have moved to the city are looking forward to finally being able to enter the castle grounds.
So I came here as a student. I'm currently doing my master's. So I came in the month of September, and I have been wanting to go to the castle ever since I came here, but for some reasons I couldn't. And when I figured that the castle has been closed, I was not sure why, but I was kind of devastated because I couldn't go inside. And ever since then, it's not opened, and I've been wanting to go inside and check out how it is.
Sailing is set to continue for boats Megan and Tinks after a large cash injection to Nottingham Narrowboat project. To hear how the project will use the £230,000 sum, CBJ's Frankie McCann has more.
The Nottingham Narrowboat project has been operating as a charity for 5 years and had just been awarded a grant from the Community Lottery Fund. The grant will allow them to open up the waterways to more diverse communities in Nottingham.
There's a lot of focus on, funding organisations that focus solely on, groups with disabilities and things like that. But we're offering an activity that's open to everyone, and we make it accessible to everybody.
The charity currently offer days out to people with disabilities, dementia, and homelessness organisations.
I think since lockdown and the pandemic and all that, there are less and less things like this. So those that we can hang on to and keep and offer opportunities like this are really, really precious. We've been painting the boat, getting paint all over themselves and each other. And it's just things they don't normally get to do.
Geared towards creating an inclusive experience for everyone, the trustees will use the money to pay for a community liaison officer to expand the project's reach even further.
We're really set up to ensure that people who in the community who perhaps come from either a disadvantaged background or from a less wealthy background can actually get out on the boats, because boating is not a cheap thing to do.
These humble canal boats may not look like much, but are providing a welcome distraction from the challenges of everyday life. Frankie McCann, CBJ News, Nottingham.
This week is British Sign Language Week. To celebrate and bring awareness to the occasion, NTU Sign Language Society have been putting on events at the university all week. CBJ's Kit O'Callaghan went to today's event to find out what went on.
The silence speaks 1,000 words in this room as people come together to mark such an important milestone, last year's British Sign Language Act. Today's event, organised by NTU Sign Language Society, is just one of a week's worth of campaigning and workshops aimed at raising awareness for sign language and its importance in today's society.
This whole week is all about making sign language very aware and people understanding that actually being deaf in society is quite difficult, and just to know a few signs, and if you bump into someone who needs a bit of support, just knowing a few signs will reassure them and they feel like they can actually go outside and not close themselves off from society. And yeah, it's just, I think personally, it's something that should definitely be more put into like education, and the people, just a little bit of understanding goes a long, long way.
This event is linked with Nottinghamshire Deaf Society and is aimed at beginners and those taking the first steps in learning BSL. It was open to all NTU staff and students and consisted of a demonstration with a representative from Nottingham Deaf Society, and plenty of time to practice. The audience went over everything from basic greetings to the alphabet, and everyone had a go at signing their name before breaking into pairs and putting their newfound skills to the test.
Yeah, I came to the event because I actually work in the disability and inclusion support team, so we do support some deaf students. So I wanted to just be more familiar with BSL, particularly if we're meeting students at open days, to have some basic greetings, to have that communication, because obviously it's a very effective communication tool for some students. And I know it's Sign Language Awareness Week, so it's obviously really good to sort of raise that awareness. So I was really pleased to be able to come along to this event today.
According to data from the 2021 census report, an estimated 151,000 people use BSL as one of their languages. It is hoped that events like this can continue to increase that number. Kit O'Callaghan for CBJ News.
Wagamama's has announced the extension of its Noodle Union, launching new student hubs where every student will be offered a free side and drink with a meal. They want to encourage students to come out in times of stress and loneliness. Our reporter Thea Holland has more.
The stress of uni life can be overwhelming for students. With exams coming up, it's important to get out of the house and socialise. Wagamama's in Nottingham is just one of the chains helping to do so by extending their Noodle Union.
Okay, so Noodle Union is something that Wagamama is offering to all students. All they need to do is sign up on our website. It offers lots of goodies, lots of prizes to be won monthly.
The restaurant is offering a free side and drink to all students to combat loneliness and stress, and is also launching student hubs to help bring students together to connect and feel safe.
I think it's a really good incentive because obviously you can do work in there and then get a free side and drink, and obviously to save money as a student is really good. I think we'll definitely take advantage of it, so yeah.
The offer is on Monday and Tuesday of every week until the 28th of March, where students can catch up and also have a place to study away from home.
So the offer went live on Monday. We have had quite a few students in. We're hoping to have a lot more come in and take advantage of the offer. And obviously with the cost of living price at the minute, it's just a nice offer. Students can come out, chill out with their friends, have a bit of extra as well.
This is Thea Holland reporting for CBJ News.
A new rock climbing and bouldering park is set to open later this spring after a local man uncovered an old boatyard which was in need of some TLC. Hidden away underneath Lady Bay Bridge in Nottingham, the old boatyard is being renovated into an outdoor bouldering park, kitted out with climbing walls, freestanding bouldering structures, as well as a dedicated yoga and wellbeing space. The team are hoping to launch in the beginning of May, open to schools and social clubs, as well as more experienced climbers who want to work on their bouldering. Ben Hunter is in charge of the operation.
Yeah, we had some quite bad weather the other week, so we had a bit of snow here and it was cold, but yeah, we just worked through it. So at the moment it's 7 days a week and we just sticking to it. Now it feels a lot more real, so we're on track. Yeah, it's looking like early May. We're hoping for May the 1st. But who knows, we might even get done before. So yeah, that rarely happens where you're ahead of schedule, but we're ahead.
Preparations are underway for this year's Ramadan. From next Thursday, Muslims around the world will begin fasting as they observe the holy month. Our reporter Sully Hussain has more.
It's an exciting time in the Islamic year. Muslims around the world are eagerly waiting for the month of Ramadan to begin next week. People gathered here today at the Beechdale Road Mosque for the final Friday prayers before the holy month begins. Donations are often made more generously at this time of year to prepare people for a month of giving and cleansing. Prayers are done together as a community, and it's an important time for all Muslims around the world, and especially in Nottingham.
It is very important month because, as I said, this is an important pillar of Islam, and it is one of the pillars, 5 pillars of Islam. And the fasting is actually good for your body. Is good medically. Is proven as is good. Fasting, people should do fast. And because you are Muslim and it is being obligated that you have to fast, so it's quite enjoyable.
Ramadan is also a time that can benefit businesses too. Nottingham-based shop Kamal Food Store specialise in halal produce and international items. The shop has been supporting Beechdale Mosque for 3 years, making sizable donations and also paying for their electricity bills, which as we know are at an all-time high. Ramadan is also a time when the demand for fresh meat and dates go up, with the store specially ordering more to fill the demand of the local community.
Yeah, I would say we get a lot more customers during Ramadan because of the special offers, and therefore this attracts our whole customer base. It also helps out the community. There's extra meat being produced and sold as people come together for big feasts at iftar time.
With Ramadan just around the corner, it's going to be a month full of faith and family for Muslims around the world. Sully Hussain, CBJ News, Nottingham.
Now to Millie Cyan with the sport.
Nottingham Forest take on Newcastle United this evening as they continue their fight for survival in the Premier League, but key player Brennan Johnson is unlikely to play after picking up a groin injury. Steve Cooper's side could move up to 12th in the Premier League with a win. Notts County will continue their push for promotion to League 2 on Saturday afternoon when they travel down to London to play Barnet. Fans won't be able to see new signing Junior Morias in action though, after he joined the club with a minor injury. And Nottingham Panthers will also be in action this weekend as they prepare to take on Manchester Storm at the Motorpoint Arena on Sunday afternoon. Panthers will be looking for revenge after their midweek 4-2 loss against Coventry Blaze. That's all for your sport.
Thanks, Millie. It's been chilly recently, but could nicer weather be on the horizons? We're going live to our weather reporter, Angelica Dabbs, to find out.
This afternoon it's nice and sunny with highs of 8 degrees. The temperature will drop to around 2 degrees this evening, but it will remain dry with a slight breeze. And over the weekend it will be mostly dry with sunny spells, perfect for Mother's Day weekend. Back to you in the studio.
That's all for your news today. You can keep up to date with all the latest across our social medias everywhere at CBJ News.
Or you can visit our website cbjspotlight.co.uk. Bye for now.